January 24, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on a 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. It's kind of a noisy, choppy pre-market with a rally into the open, two legs up, a sell-off, consolidation, push up, then kind of these legs down into what I thought was kind of a range, but it was very choppy. I took two trades and unfortunately I lost them both, so I just had to call it a day after that, trying to keep more disciplined with my rules. There was two pieces of economic data, or two times economic data came out. One was at 6:45 Pacific Standard, which is about right here. There was a flash manufacturing PMI and the services PMI. And then there was, I guess, right around 7 o'clock, another medium impact news, which was the existing home sales. The volume wasn't that high today, and overall I thought trading was tough because you can tell it looks like it's a pretty big lot of price action here, but this is actually from 61.62 to 61.22, so there's only 40 points of price action. And even then, it took a while to travel that full 40 point move, and there was the average true range up here was it spent a lot of time below 2. So kind of knowing that, I was aiming to just kind of be more careful and maybe just go for 1 point scalps, because asking for 2, there's a lot of choppy price action you could reverse and stop you out. So I'm going to get into the trades. There aren't too many that I found today. Pre-market, I saw something like this. I mean, I wasn't here to see it in real time, but I looked back and I saw it was like a new one leg up, pull back, a second leg up. Looks like a second entry short, potentially within a range, whether you have the range drawn like this or tighter, and you treat this as a failed breakout, doesn't matter. It's coming from the top of the range, potential triple test. I thought there might have been a trade here if I saw this in real time. But as things progressed, I look back and I'm thinking, if I saw this in real time and I knew what kind of day it was, I probably would have avoided it because it's just super noisy today. There's a rally and a push up. It hits this consolidation area. There's no clean second entries that I particularly like. This green up channel breaks, makes one attempt up, pull back, second attempt up, pushes up in this choppy leg. Now these candles look pretty big because they are at the beginning, and this is right at the economic data. But then the rest of the time, the ATR was roughly 2 or below. Then the economic data comes out, the market resolves itself. So first entry long, pullback. You have a second entry long here. It's not a good signal bar. Visual first entry, second entry, still nothing good. Pushes down on this green down channel. I drew this yellow down channel after the fact, after price action already made it to here, because I was trying a number of things early on. I was thinking something like this. I didn't really like this overshoot. Having channel tight, didn't really have that many confirmations down here. Ultimately, I just kind of ended up with this thing. But that was after all this price action had printed, and I didn't really see any clean second entries or felt safe on taking anything here. Technically, you have a new low here. It's a first entry short, and that's all you get. You get a lot of these throughout the day, these kind of like almost setups or things that just fell short. Also, new highs at first entry long right here. Second entry long failure, but I'm not thinking of taking a failure because these candles are almost the same size and just side by side. So it's just stacked and noisy. And you see that throughout the day. Just a lot of candles side by side. Maybe it breaks out, moves gradually. These are just overlapping themselves by quite a bit. And it just happened like that throughout the day. So it wasn't the easiest, most obvious setups that I could find. There's this yellow down channel going down. It's a break and test of a new low. I saw this as a potential setup, kind of after the fact though. I saw this as a triple test resistance up here. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. And I thought maybe there's a trading range. It's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long. Second entry long in real time, you only have support two touch confirmation. So I don't really know that this is a trading range just yet, but I do like the fact that this candle moved 1 tick below and then reversed itself really strongly, engulfing this signal bar. The signal bar wasn't that great though, but it's a strong trigger bar with a good strong close. Now, even though this is a possible trade, I think it's a little more aggressive because you are trading into the EMA. EMA was respected previously, with some violations. So here, it's hard to know, even though it's starting to move sideways, if it's going to be respected. In this case, it just pushed right through. So this would have been, even if I was going for 1 point scalp, you can see it's like 61.4650. I need to get out a 61.4750 right here. And so it does have to push through the EMA. So even though it's a possible trade, it's a little more aggressive for my taste. It pushes along, and this actually sets up for my first trade, which I thought in real time was, worth a shot. So here I'm thinking before these candles printed, I'm thinking I'm clearly in a range. Bottom and top, push down on the yellow down channel, break, attempted to test the low. It didn't quite make it, but I'm not really sure if it's going to make a second attempt or not. But I do like that it's in a range, multiple tests. It's a new low, the first entry short only. But I like that this candle is only 4 ticks, 1 point. Plus, if I wanted to put 1 tick above the previous bar, it's from here. It's only 2 more points, so it's a 6 point or a 6 tick trade. That's exactly what I did. I entered from here to right here, 1 tick below. It pushes all the way down, so I'm looking to get out at 61.49, 61.4825. Pushes down here by 1 tick, reverses up, and stops me out. So it was a small risk because it was a small candle, but in hindsight, I think I should have left it alone because this is an inside bar. I was playing off the strength of this range and multiple tests. So I thought it was worth a shot. So it pushes up. Now I'm seeing a potential new low, first entry short, second entry short. Second entry short with a failed breakout of this trading range. I like that it pushed strongly back into the range, moved 1 tick above, and then pushed down, engulfed this previous bar. So I saw that and I was thinking, is something like this happening down here? I would decide to enter 1 tick below this guy, entered, pushes down, reverses, and stops me out. So this, if I just went for 1 point, it was 61.4925 down to 61.48 even. I would have gotten out, but I was going for 2 points because I thought from here, I need to get down to 61.4725 right down to here. I thought that was a reasonable ask, but in this case, I was wrong. I should have kept in mind the ATR was very low, below 2. And this, it wasn't the cleanest setup. I did see it as second entry short above the EMA, but the EMA I felt was kind of flattening. So I thought this was a worthwhile shot. This is exactly a 10 tick candle, so my risk is about a little bit higher. And unfortunately, I did try to reduce the risk. As you can see, I placed it after the break of this guy on the engulfing. And unfortunately, I got stopped out. So after the second loss, I decided, okay, well, knowing what happened on Wednesday, I just got to be very careful because, yeah, Wednesday was just kind of a disaster. Let's then continue moving up. Moves up on this orange up channel, comes down on this green. So this correction is pretty big, makes a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. It's not a good signal par, but it also had a new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. The second entry short I thought was a possible trade. It's a break of this green down channel, made 1 attempt. It could be starting the second attempt. I wasn't sure it was in a range just yet, but I do like this signal bar being really small body, huge tail. Obviously, there's momentum to push down, so I think there was a possible trade here. It kind of moves sideways, pushes up, and continues down. First entry long, second entry long. It's a good second entry long in terms of technical setup, but it feels a little dicey because it already made a new low. You can see this low already, after the break, this orange, it did already test the low. So is it moving back up? Hard to say because if you look to the left, prices are just kind of moving sideways at this point. So no trade here, in my opinion. Prices move down on this yellow down channel. It actually sets up this other setup here, but this is actually dependent on how you drew this channel. Because at one point I actually had it here, like this, and there's actually a break and tested a new low. So I'm thinking in this time, the low of this yellow down channel has been tested. But if you drew it this way, still really have one touch, but you have two touch confirmation. You say it's the first break, 1 attempt up, first attempt down to test the low, second attempt. It does have 2 key entry points and a triple test potentially, like 1, 2, 3. is a new low, first entry short, second entry short, good signal bar for second entry short, new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, failure. Now, I think this is definitely a little bit more aggressive because when I saw something like this, it reminded me of this setup over here because it's a break of the green up channel. Made two attempts. Well, actually, it made one attempt and it was starting to come back down. After a triple test, multiple test setup, I had something similar here, but I got burned on this one. Even though, well, this one was an inside bar though. And I was thinking, could I get burned on this one? Because technically, this is kind of a two bar signal bar, but it was a little ambiguous. EMA is starting to hold strength. I think it was a possible trade, but it was too late for me because I already got two losses. So I felt it was maybe a possible trade, but it did haunt me that this could be kind of a repeat pattern of this, except this one is a little cleaner than this one because it actually went broke, one attempt, two attempt, and then fail. This one's broke, one attempt, two attempt, all in the same candle here, which is very tight. So it's a little ambiguous, and then push down. Then it kind of consolidates, pushes down, new high, first entry long, second entry long here, making a new low. You're picking the bottom if you decide to go long here. Pushes down. There's no clean second entries. You do have a new low here, first entry short, second entry short. The second entry short, this is the signal bar for the second entry short, followed by the trigger bar. At this point, I do have this orange down channel drawn, but I had it a little bit tighter. So I was thinking, is there a failed breakout here? So it's a failed breakout, first entry short, second entry short. Is it going to make a corresponding push out here because it's also a break of this green up channel. Could test the high and then continue down here. So it's a little ambiguous, I admit, and I wasn't sure, so I didn't even mark it. Then prices move down. It's new highs, first entry long, second entry long, no good signal bar. At the lows, you'd be picking the bottom. New low here, first entry short, second entry short, second entry short, not a good setup. Just these signal bars aren't very good. Pushes up in this green up channel. It's new high, first entry long, second entry long. Again, signal bars are just kind of neutral, even though they're side by side. I didn't really like that it's neutral and the EMA is just cutting through. Pushes up. It makes this resistance. So I thought there was some kind of trading range here, but I couldn't really get a trading range to fit clean. I mean, you could say maybe the trading range is all the way down to here, but it doesn't really help for me to see any setups. There's new highs of first entry long pullback, second entry long, also a new low, first entry short, second entry short. I thought this was maybe a potential short because you have a new high, first entry long, second entry long failure, but this isn't a very clean failure. It's right at the EMA. First entry short, second entry short, bad signal bar to go short on. So this is something I saw, but I don't think there was a worthwhile setup here. So I'm just going to mark it for my own notes. Then it pushes down. No clean setups. New low, double bottom, first entry short. Again, you don't really have any. Is like a triple test here. So here I was thinking, is there some kind of resistance here for it to bounce back up? After watching more price action, broke through. I wasn't really sure what was going on. New low here. It's a first entry short. Pull back, second entry short. But this is just there. I don't really like the setup after the follow through. This is just too congested, too side by side. Kind of like a mini trading range here, but the candles are spanning the entire range practically, and then it pushes up. But then this is also going into the end of the day, which I don't really want to trade because from here over is the last 10 minutes. And it was just, yeah, it was kind of very low volume, very slow. Kind of this whole week has been slow. I do recall last year there was a period of really slow price action, and I have to be extra careful because I think going for 2 points is risky, especially when I saw this all the way up to, I'd say, about after about, I don't know, I think almost 4 hours of trading because this would be at 10:30 and this is 6:30 when the open is. So this is after 4 hours of price action, and you see it's 61.39 to 61.62. So it's about 20 points, roughly 23 points. 23 points where it's not even spanning the whole thing, and the ATR is being low. That's a good indication of flag to me that I had to be extra cautious. Unfortunately, I already took these trades early on. But if I was sitting through here after 4 hours and I saw this and I hadn't taken a trade, I think I would have just hung up my hat and decided like it's just it's just very slow and not happening. Plus, I was keeping track of the daily volume, which was lower than usual. So it's just all around a slow, which made it difficult, which also made it a true test of patience to not get drawn in to taking a bunch of foolish trades. So hopefully that was helpful.